You see the truck?
Yeah, that's one of the camo dudes.
That doesn't look like a human bone, huh?
It does, dude.
If I touch it, will I get...
Zooming in on the footage, however, exposes two what looked to be triangular-shaped craft, and these were making no noise, and they were not moving.
And then when it started moving this way, it started way over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was...
Hello?
The wilderness can hide things no one expects from human remains discovered beside a fishing spot too, and a massive grizzly keeps closing the distance on two men who have nowhere to run. So what really happened during these encounters? The video was uploaded on May 10th, 2026. A Fisherman's Life is a channel that isn't difficult to figure out. As the name suggests, it centers on fishing. The creator makes the kind of videos where he does more than just catch fish. He also cleans and cooks them on camera, creating the type of content that can suddenly make viewers want to head to the kitchen for something to eat. But in this particular video, what started as another normal fishing trip turned into something unusual enough to leave both him and his friend uneasy.
So I'm going to start here and fish right in front of me and then fish downstream a little bit. Let's do a first cast close. If there's fish, they'll come up and get it too. Come on, baby. Fish on. Oh, bite. Yep, definitely a bite. 100% a bite. I could feel it too. I don't have the indicator, but I'm tight to my line.
During the trip, they moved to a different spot and discovered something unexpected.
Now, this is kind of cool. Look at this. Is that man-made?
Yeah.
No doubt about it, right?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm with an Amazon tracker. We're at this new spot in the middle of nowhere, and Jim thinks this is a human bone. I have no degree in bones. That doesn't look like a human bone, huh?
It does, dude.
If I touch it, will I get cursed?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Just to give you a sense of the scale. Huh.
Put it next to your leg. Dude, that looks like a human bone.
Dang.
I think so. It'd be right here under my kneecap is where it would start. That's a human bone. I'm not even kidding, dude.
Yeah, maybe it'll bring us luck.
Hopefully.
Bad luck, or?
At first, it looked like nothing more than a strange piece of bone, but the longer they looked at it, the more disturbing it appeared. It had a shape that made them wonder whether it could be human, and although they weren't certain, the possibility was hard to ignore. Strangely, they continued fishing after finding it, but once he got home, the image of the bone stayed with him. He began wondering what it might actually be. If it was human, it could have belonged to someone who died in that area and was later scattered by animals, or it could have been something even darker connected to a person who had been killed and left there. Eventually, he decided it was too serious to ignore and contacted the police to report what they had found.
You have reached the El Dorado County Sheriff's Office, non-emergency.
Hi, I was fishing in the South Fork of the American River on Saturday, and I came across what I think is a human tibia, but I'm not sure. I just wanted to report that.
And you think you came across a human tibia?
I asked my friend who was an EMT, and he's a nurse, and I asked a couple people, and they said that that's what it looks like. And I was making a fishing video, so I have it all on camera.
After that call, a police officer contacted him after reviewing the footage. The officer confirmed that the bone was human, which immediately made the situation much more serious. A few days later, the officer asked the YouTuber to return to the area and point out the exact location where it had been found. They went back, police collected the bone for investigation, and he was later provided with a case number. In situations like this, even a small bone can become important evidence. Its location, condition, and the surrounding area may help investigators determine whether it was moved by water animals or something else. That is why people are usually advised not to touch anything suspicious and to report it exactly where it was discovered. Since then, there has been no official update, and because the discovery is still fairly recent, there may not be enough information available yet. If that bone really belonged to someone who is still missing, this discovery may have been the first step toward answers. But until more is known, the question remains, how did it end up there in the first place? The video was uploaded by the YouTube channel Brock Jonasson on August 24th, 2012. Brock Jonasson had always enjoyed fishing and spending time outdoors, but filming himself or posting videos online was never really something he intended to do. That changed during a fishing trip in Alaska when he found himself in a situation unusual enough to make him pull out a camera and start recording. Afterward, he realized the footage was far too remarkable to keep to himself, so he uploaded it to YouTube, where it quickly began attracting attention from viewers.
Smells us now. They can cover a lot of ground quick. Where was that? I think he's just gonna go around us. Just chill. Hey, bear. Go on. Go on, bear. Go on, bear.
From a distance, they spotted a grizzly bear moving through the area, and it was clearly enormous. The bear seemed comfortable approaching them, even with Brock holding bear spray ready in his hand. Having a grizzly get that close is the kind of experience that can send adrenaline levels soaring. Then there was his friend gripping a stick as though he was preparing for some kind of old-fashioned battle. But the alarming part wasn't just that the bear came closer, it also started behaving more aggressively.
Go on, bear. Go on, bear. Go on, bear. Go on, bear. Let's just keep walking. Just look away. Go on, bear. Go on, bear. Just keep backing away, dude. Go on, bear. Keep looking away.
As the footage continues, it becomes increasingly obvious that the bear wasn't backing away. It kept moving closer and appeared to become more determined with each passing moment. The men handled the situation well. They remained composed and didn't allow panic to take over. Some people who have never encountered a bear in person may watch the footage and think it didn't seem that dangerous. But in reality, bears don't usually approach humans that closely, unless something is wrong or they feel confident. Eventually, they managed to drive it away, or perhaps the bear finally decided it wasn't welcome there. Either way, the video makes it clear that this was an extremely tense encounter, and their hearts were racing the entire time. One reason they got through the situation was that they didn't run, yell, or turn their backs on the bear. They continued facing it, backed away slowly, and made themselves appear like a threat rather than easy prey. Brock also kept his bear spray ready, which may have helped prevent the bear from making a full charge. Maybe the bear was simply upset because they were catching fish from its territory. It only had claws and teeth, while the men arrived fully equipped with rods, gear, and lures. But when a wild animal closes that distance and still refuses to leave, the real question remains simple. Was it merely curious, or was it already deciding what to do next? Theo, the creator behind the channel My Name is Theo, documents his travels across the country with his companion Lars. His videos give viewers a raw look at life on the road, the highs, the challenges, and everything in between. But during one section of his cross-country journey, Theo learned that the silence of the wilderness can feel far more intimidating than the constant noise of a city. After a long day of driving, Theo started looking for a place to sleep and chose a dispersed camping site within the vast Talladega National Forest in Alabama.
We found this spot, Talladega National Forest. From what I've read, it seems like it's got dispersed camping. It's an hour, it's like 50 minutes away, and it's close to where I'm going, so it's not out of the way. Because from right here where I am right now to where I'm going tomorrow, it's like, wait, hold on, I think it might actually get me closer. Okay, I just realized that it actually...
On paper, it seemed perfect remote quiet and conveniently located for the next part of his trip. Once he arrived, however, the atmosphere was anything but reassuring.
Super sketchy. This is the campsite, apparently, and I can just park, I guess, anywhere. I don't see anyone here. This is like super duper sketchy. Like, if I saw other cars, I'd be like, okay.
The campsite was empty, surrounded by a heavy darkness that his headlights could barely penetrate. What should have been a simple, peaceful stop instead felt abandoned and deeply unsettling. Although Theo had traveled extensively, even taking part in conservation cruises, he was usually around other people. Here alone in the forest, the silence felt overwhelming. The situation became worse when he realized his headlamp was useless without the proper batteries.
And I'm gonna have to crack the windows because it is hot. I was gonna put the tailgate tent up, but it's just so dark I can't even see. I don't have batteries for my headlamp. All I have is AA. I thought I was good with just the AA. Nope, needed AAA for the headlamp. So yeah, that was a mistake there. So I can't really put the awning thing up, the tailgate awning that I have, because
Relying only on his phone's flashlight, he couldn't properly set up his tailgate tent. With no better option, he stayed inside the vehicle, cracking the windows to escape the heat, an action that invited mosquitoes inside and left him feeling exposed to whatever else might be nearby. The van, once a symbol of safety, began to feel more like a trap. Every sound from the surrounding woods worked on his nerves, each movement reminding him how vulnerable he was. He tried distracting himself by watching a movie on his laptop, but the feeling of being watched never completely went away. The faint voices he thought he heard stayed in his mind. Were they other campers, or something else entirely? The night passed without a direct incident, but the mental strain remained. The darkness, the silence, and the weight of isolation stayed with him long after he left the forest behind. For Theo, it became a reminder that sometimes the strongest fear doesn't come from a creature lurking nearby, but from the realization of how exposed you truly are. What made this experience so frightening wasn't a confrontation, but the loss of control. Without proper lighting or a secure setup, Theo was left alone with uncertainty. And in the wild, uncertainty itself can feel like a predator. Have you ever felt that kind of fear in complete darkness where your own thoughts become louder than anything around you? Do you think Theo's unease came only from isolation, or could there have been someone or something just beyond the reach of his headlights? On August 1st, 2025, the Nevada desert became the setting for a trip long imagined by Tyler from Independence Overland, a channel known for overlanding adventures and remote camps throughout the American West. This time, he and a friend traveled toward the edge of Area 51, following old reports, modern rumors, and a childhood curiosity that never disappeared. Out there beneath the empty skies, they soon learned the desert rarely leaves travelers completely alone.
With at least some of our tourist duties out of the way, we've made it onto the dirt that surrounds the mysterious Area 51.
Did you guys hear that?
That was a sonic boom from them testing aircraft.
Like, I felt it in my chest. Like someone kicked me. You see the truck?
Yeah, that's one of the camo dudes.
That are watching, and we can't go past this sign.
Yeah, this isn't the gate I thought it was.
We have made it to the perimeter of Area 51, and this is Groom Lake Road. And if you look behind me, there's an F-150 sitting up on the hillside. And basically they just have people that wait to make sure nobody's crossing lines and stuff, because it does happen quite often. We're not looking to do anything like that. We're gonna respect all the boundaries. I'm not trying to do anything stupid here. We did hear a sonic boom. I'm hoping we don't hear any of those in the middle of the night. They're doing all sorts of testing out here, so who knows what we're gonna see or hear. I think now we're gonna get out here and try to find us a campsite.
As expected, the security that protects the perimeter of the base hasn't lost track of us. We're positioned where they can't see us from their perch, but they're making sure to let us know that we haven't gone unnoticed.
It is funny how they just like nose in and just sit there and stare at you. It's like a weird intimidation thing.
As they approached Groom Lake Road, the landscape shifted from open desert to a place marked by warning signs and long stretches of silence. Then, parked high on a distant ridge, they spotted white truck security personnel known as the Camo Dudes, watching without moving, their presence obvious, even from afar. Tyler and his team remained on public land, but the attention from above never seemed to fade. And when night arrived, the desert revealed something even stranger.
Intensely bright blue and red stationary lights were shining above these clouds right until I grabbed my camera. We could tell by the intensity of these lights that whatever it was relatively close, but none of us can see it with the naked eye. Zooming in on the footage, however, exposes two what looked to be triangular shaped craft, and these were making no noise and they were not moving.
The whole thing with this story is that it is obviously not created by us, but it doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't created here. I don't know what it is. I don't think anybody who's watching this video actually knows what it is.
As exciting as this spot has been, we want to see the main gate, so into the climate control of the trucks and on to our next destination, a place that we will absolutely, positively see an alien.
So yeah, we stopped at the Little Alien to eat, and they were not allowing filming inside. There's a bunch of signs everywhere. We're gonna make our way to the other gate.
Perhaps my mind was a little too adventurous when determining where the main gate might be. Because our last option is straight down the widest and most maintained dirt road that we've come across. Seeing the main gate of one of the most secretive places in the United States, if not the entire world, was incredible to see. But with how locked off this place is, our time is better spent heading into the trails to see if we can set up for the night to observe the sky.
As darkness settled over Delamar, their cameras captured what their eyes struggled to make out: two colored lights suspended near the cloud line. They hovered without drifting or pulsing, as if fixed to a point beyond the ridges. Through zoom, the shape appeared triangular, softened by distance, with no visible movement. Even the skeptic in the group could not offer an immediate explanation. But the most unsettling moment came during their final night in the open desert.
Which direction was the base?
It's that way.
Tonight we are far enough off the beaten path and far enough away from any gates that we don't have to worry about any unexpected visitors. But we're still close enough to the base that we can look up and wonder what kind of technology could be flying around up there.
It started way over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like here, and it went like up, and then it stopped, and then it started moving this way.
Yeah, 90 degrees.
You light it up again with that laser?
We all saw glimpses of unconventional lights in the sky on this trip. And whether they're man-made or not, it's exactly what we wanted to see while visiting Area 51.
Camping miles from the nearest town, they watched a single light rise sharply above the horizon, pause, then change direction at a precise right angle. Too sudden for a plane, too controlled for drifting debris. It moved, stopped, and shifted again before fading into the stars. When the desert became quiet once more, Caleb admitted the experience had changed his perspective, leaving all of them with more questions than answers. Some viewers believed the group was being watched the entire time, pointing to the camo dudes and the unexplained movement in the sky. Others suggest the lights may have been related to classified testing, visible only to those camped close enough to notice. If those lights appeared on the nights they were watching, how many passed unnoticed on the nights they were not? And beyond those ridgelines, who else was looking back through the desert darkness? On November 9th, 2025, the creator of Dead Appalachia traveled to a remote off-grid cabin deep in eastern Ohio. His goal was simple yet unsettling: break every rule of Appalachia and see what responded. What started as an experiment based on folklore gradually became something more instinctive, where darkness, silence, and old legends seemed to shape the night around him.
Bench? Oh man, this is looking cool. All right, here's the cave. Huh. Ah! Oh, thorns. Just thorns. I'm jumpy right now, man. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Not much of a cave as much as it is an overhang, huh? Let's see down here. Maybe there's a bigger opening. I'm honestly kind of worried I'm gonna come across a bear who's just trying to chill. That'd be my luck. Kind of just an overhang, not much of a cave. I was expecting something like Minecraft, I guess. But this is still pretty cool. Maybe I'll come back out here once the nighttime comes and see if anything gets me for breaking the rule. What the? I think I accidentally turned on my spirit box when I was trying to open up my gear pouch. That scared the hell out of me. I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of jarring. There's a lot of weird sounds happening out here. Did you know that Ohio is considered the most haunted state in the entire US? Before I was, really getting into this stuff, I didn't think much of Ohio, because only a tiny sliver of Ohio is actually Appalachia. But as I do more research, it really is an interesting state. There's a lot of natural history. There's a lot of ghost towns here, and there's a crap ton of haunted locations here in Ohio, more so than pretty much anywhere else in the country. So I'm actually kind of excited to be here. I've never been to Ohio before. That's what I like about this YouTube channel. It lets me travel to these different states in the Appalachian region that I never would have gone to on my own. I'm gonna go check out this pond that the signs are talking about. Then I'm gonna head back, wait for the sun to go down, and then start my investigations and doing a couple of experiments. Those experiments being breaking every rule of Appalachia that I can. I keep hearing things rustling along this tree line. I think it's just squirrels, but like that's gonna do a whole lot. I mean, it's something. Huh. Well, I found a pond. Good looking pond. Very scudsy. Some type of A-frame with chicken wire on it. I think that may be a duck house. I bet there's chock full of fish in here. Then again, I don't have an Ohio fishing license, and I really don't want to spend the money just to fish for one day. Again, I keep hearing rustling. There's a lot of squirrels around here. All right, let's head back. I'm gonna take a nap with my wife, and we will wake back up when it's dark, and I'll see if I can entice anything to come and eat us. All right, I guess I'll see you in the nighttime.
He arrived at the isolated cabin and explored the surrounding area. A narrow bridge, an abandoned shed, a shallow overhang, and a murky pond hidden among the trees. Even a spirit box turning on by itself hinted that the property carried its own atmosphere. But the real test would not begin until after sunset.
She is awake. Hi, baby. All right, since you're here, I don't have to look up sounds. All right, just whistle a couple times for me. Thank you.
That's the best whistle I've ever done in my life, that last one.
I know, I'm quite impressed. All right, well, I'm out here. If you hear any type of weird sounds...
I'm just gonna go back and tuck myself under the blanket if I do.
No, take a video and try to catch something. Maybe something will look at you through these windows.
If someone looks at me through these windows and it's not a possum, we're gonna have a problem.
Freaking phone. Hopefully you can hear that with the audio turned up. Did y'all hear that rustling? Hello? Any Wendigos out here? Any Skinwalkers? I ain't afraid of you. I'm a little afraid.
At dusk, he broke the first rule and whistled into the woods. The sound had barely faded before something large rustled in return, close enough to feel but impossible to see. The response was immediate and unsettling. Still, he continued pushing the limits.
Okay. The little lanterns here are a nice touch. These ones right here, very much so dead though. I'm worried about going out here without a weapon or something, but I doubt that axe would do me much good anyways. It looks super dull. We'll head this way. I saw a trail that heads up the mountainside. I'm gonna follow that. And once we get up top of the mountain, sit down and start breaking some rules. Check out that moon. That is you probably can't see it too well on a GoPro, but that is a gorgeous crescent moon. I will say I am getting a sort of bad vibe feeling out here. I'm sure you hear this a lot from other paranormal YouTubers, but something feels wrong out here. I feel like I'm not welcome. I guess I am out here purposely breaking supernatural rules. Yeah, I'm getting the heebie-jeebies. Something about the Appalachian woods when the leaves start falling. The woods around here just look so ominous and creepy and uninviting. It's like whatever is out here does not want you in here. Here we are, right here. I'm gonna try to not talk very much on the walk up here, and I'm not gonna put any type of like ambient music. I want y'all to hear the sounds of the forest. So I'm gonna turn up the volume here really loud to see if you guys can hear something that I can't. Here we go. feed, sawdust, something or other. Weird. We're just gonna keep heading up into this hill, this mountain, see where it takes us. Once we reach the top, like I said, I'm gonna set my pack down and then just see what happens. Look at this gnarled, creepy ass looking tree. This forest is daunting to say the least. Did I just see something move? I think it's just my eyes playing tricks on me. We're almost to the top of the hill, I think. Oh, man. That incline. Getting the best of me here. All right, this place looks pretty secluded. We're a decent bit away from the cabin. This is as fine place as any. Okay, we got the night vision camera going here. This place is terrifying at night. I will tell y'all what. So far, I have not seen anything out of the ordinary. I haven't even seen an animal. Right now I'm just kind of sweeping the area with the IR. If there are any animals or creatures, the IR will make their eyes glow. But right now, I see no signs of animals, cryptids, or whatever else in the vicinity. Yeah, there ain't nothing right now. My name is Luke, and I ain't afraid of you. I'm calling you out. You want to come say hello? I'm right here. Wendigo. 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 Skinwalker. Skinwalker. Come out, you antlered bastard. I ain't afraid of you. I got the Lord on my side, son. Come say something to dear old Appalachia. If you ain't a wuss. Was sent this spirit box by a subscriber of mine, so this will be my first time using it. I honestly don't know how to use it that well. I'm kind of new to all this, but maybe there's some spiritual energies here I can talk to.
Pay for a vacation later.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hear that shit? Those are coyotes. They are very, very close. Let's go try to see if we can catch them on camera or on the night vision camera. What got them hooting and hollering last time is the spirit box. Maybe if I run it again, I'll get them to start up again. Let's try that. What the actual hell? I think it's about time I head back to the cabin. What the actual hell was that? The spirit box was working fine just a minute ago, getting regular radio signals. Is that normal? I'm sure there's some much more experienced paranormal investigators who have used spirit boxes frequently. Is that normal? For it to make that god-awful sounds? That has set my nerves right on edge. I don't like it. That mixed with those coyotes over yonder, I am more than a little on edge. I think I'm going to continue this investigation in the safety of the cabin. I feel a very, very unwelcoming. All right, let's get back inside my cabin. I'm sure my wife is worried about me. Oh, hi. Boom.
Venturing into the forest alone, he felt a sense of dread settle in quickly. Calling into the darkness drew an instant reaction, coyotes erupting from every direction. When the spirit box crackled with harsh, distorted sounds, the mood shifted from eerie to hostile. He decided to turn back. Returning to the cabin, his wife reported scratching against the walls and something dragging itself outside. By morning, he admitted Appalachia was not the nightmare portrayed on TikTok, yet the forest had clearly responded. Some viewers believe it was instinct and wildlife. Others think breaking the rules simply revealed what listens in the dark. If the rules are not real, why did everything escalate the moment he challenged them? On December 16th, 2025, the creator behind Off the Trail, a solo outdoor channel linked to Keeping It Dutch that covers stealth camping van builds and wildlife monitoring, was parked near a remote creek in the United States, while a severe cold front moved through.
Right there. As soon as I come out here, they stopped barking. They were going absolutely crazy.
What began as a night dealing with harsh weather soon took an unsettling turn. From inside the van, barking erupted along the tree line. It was loud, constant, and wouldn't stop. He could immediately tell there was more than one dog. They remained near the edge of visibility and stayed in position.
It's getting so cold and windy, I ain't gonna be able to, so we'll use that in a different time. Why'd you do that? Why'd you jump down? Them dogs are over here and they're big. Carl, get back over here, boy. Oh, Carl, you don't stand a chance out here, buddy. I'm gonna put the scuttle back. I didn't know it was gonna be so windy, even though I did know there was a front coming in. You can run around for a minute, but then we gotta get back in here, Carl.
As he moved around inside the van, the barking seemed to follow him. It wasn't random, and they weren't passing through. They appeared to know exactly where he was.
So here's the first picture of some dogs that found the dog food, and a couple of them have collars. They found the dog food and they're just going absolutely crazy with it. And just stay tuned, because here in just a second, they're going to be, that one comes, right? You can see it come in, it's finding the feed. I don't know how it didn't just trigger right then. It finds that little can. I need to take them cans out of there, they're empty. And
trail camera footage captured one of the dogs approaching directly without hesitation, staring straight into the lens before walking away.
Dinner is in the cage, but now they're still kind of looking around, eating whatever they can scrounge around. But right here is coming up that guy could be looking for in the truck, because Carl, don't go too far. Don't go too far, buddy. Man, the wind has picked up. It is cold. Yeah, Carl. Sounds like they're closer. You want back up there, don't you? That is a little taller. You should have jumped from there to there to there. Yeah, hold on, buddy. What you guys doing? There you go. All right, you ready for some muffins? You ready to cook some muffins? I already gave you a bunch of steak. So it's currently 69 in here and like 20 outside. Go lay down over there. Make some muffins. Let's get this over here. Maybe we can get it hotter. Since I got the heater last time, I couldn't get it quite hot enough.
Several of the dogs wore collars. Their behavior didn't resemble wild or feral animals, keeping their distance. It resembled dogs that had been around people before. Later that night, the barking returned. The wind carried the sound, but the distance had decreased. The dogs were still working the same area. When he tried to let Carl outside, sharp barking erupted from just beyond the light. He immediately brought Carl back into the van. The dogs never made direct contact, but they never left either. They remained in that area throughout the entire night. By morning, the cold front had passed. The dogs had not. Animals that track movement, hold their position, and return throughout the night are displaying a level of awareness beyond wandering strays. If you had been parked alone there that night, would you have stayed until morning? On June 5th, 2023, the creator behind Daily explores a UK-based channel focused on wild camping and micro-adventures across the British countryside set out from Snake Pass in the Peak District National Park. The objective was clear locate 2 historic aircraft wreck sites hidden somewhere within the open moorland. The terrain immediately made progress difficult. Deep peat, uneven ground, and unstable footing made every step deliberate. Navigation required constant attention, and as they moved deeper into the heather, any sign of a defined path disappeared completely.
Airwolf nearly took our heads off then, coming over the top of the hill. Did you ever watch Airwolf?
Airwolf?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
It's like Knight Rider, but with a helicopter.
Oh.
Look at that. Woo. It's a bit windy. Sorry for the wind noise.
You can do Michael Jackson.
When visibility at ground level became limited, and the second crash site proved difficult to find, they changed approach. Rather than continuing through terrain with no dependable markers.
Where's this second crash site? I think this is Blenheim something or other. Go and check out Gaz's video and he'll tell you all about it. So it turns out this is just part of it, and there's a little sign saying the main wreckage is up this way, so let's go and have a look.
They launched a drone to search from above. Given the conditions on the ground, it was a practical decision. Camp was established near a trig point. Not long afterward, a group of sheep wandered closer to the tents. They weren't aggressive, but they were clearly aware of the camp. Out on open moorland with no natural shelter.
I don't snore. Moving about and that up back. Must have been them sheep. Guess who sent his drone off this morning that decided to land somewhere because of a critical battery? It's just heading down the side of the hill to go and try and find it. It's got its location marked on his app, so he should be able to head to that and pick it up.
The exposed surroundings were difficult to ignore. The following morning brought a different problem. A drone battery failed during flight. With poor visibility and very few landmarks in any direction recovering, it meant tracking its location across rough terrain using GPS. What started as a routine equipment issue became a genuine recovery effort in an environment where small mistakes can quickly create larger problems. Nothing that happened during that trip was sudden. The challenges built gradually through the terrain, the navigation, the exposed campsite, and the equipment failure. Each issue was manageable on its own, but together they added up. In remote moorland like that, how many small problems does it take before one becomes serious? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.